It started as a whisper, a quiet sense of unrest that grew in break rooms and late-night conversations. Then it became a headline. Millions of people quitting their jobs, making news across the world and sparking debates in every industry. People weren't just leaving for better pay, but as a rejection of the old promises of work, loyalty traded for security that never truly materialized. Millennials led the charge, burned out and disillusioned after years of following the rules, college, debt, endless hustle, and the hope that hard work would pay off. We worked long hours, answered emails at midnight, and still stability never arrived. The dream of a secure future felt further away with every passing year. The Great Resignation wasn't a blip, it was the result of years of quiet frustration boiling over, a collective realization that something had to change. The pandemic didn't create our burnout, it magnified it, stripping away distractions and forcing us to ask, is this really what we want for our lives day after day? For millions, the answer was no. We realized we deserved more than just survival, we wanted to thrive. We're not just quitting jobs, we're quitting the idea that work should consume our lives, that our worth is measured only by productivity. We want more than a paycheck, we want a life filled with meaning, connection, and time for ourselves and those we love. This is a generational reckoning, not a temporary trend. It's a movement to redefine what success and happiness look like. Critics call us lazy or entitled, but we're being realistic. We see the cost of burnout and refuse to pay it with our health and happiness. Our well-being and happiness aren't luxuries, they're necessities, and we're finally prioritizing them. The Great Resignation is reshaping the workplace, and this change is here to stay. Companies are being forced to listen and adapt. Millennials are rewriting the future of work, building environments where people can grow, create, and belong. We're demanding a new deal, one that values mental health, purpose, and balance, not just output. The old model is broken, and we're not going back. We're building something better, together. The future of work is being written now, and for the first time we're holding the pen, determined to create a world where work supports life, not the other way around. The numbers are staggering. What happened in 2021 was unlike anything the American workforce had ever seen before. Over 47 million Americans quit their jobs in a single year, shattering previous records and sending shock waves through every industry. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of Spain, and the trend didn't stop there. The wave of resignations continued into the next year, reshaping the labor market. Millennials in their 30s and 40s led the exodus, but it wasn't just hospitality and retail workers walking out. Tech professionals, healthcare workers, and educators joined in, making it a cross-industry phenomenon. This wasn't just about low pay, it was about feeling stuck, overlooked, and undervalued. People were tired of being denied advancement and respect. Microsoft found that 41% of the global workforce considered quitting in 2021, and the numbers were even higher among millennials and Gen Z. The desire for change was global, not just American. Many who left didn't jump into another job right away. They took time to reflect, recharge, and rethink what they wanted from work and life. For many, it was about reclaiming control. Pew data showed most quitters cited low pay, no growth, and disrespect as their reasons. These weren't isolated complaints, they were widespread and deeply felt. These are deep, systemic problems, not fixable with perks or pizza parties. Workers wanted real change, not surface-level gestures. The Great Resignation was a rational response to a work culture that demanded too much and gave too little. People were no longer willing to sacrifice their well-being for jobs that didn't value them. The data is clear. Millions said, enough. They made their voices heard in the only way they could, by walking away. Employers had to listen. The power dynamic shifted. Suddenly, companies were scrambling to understand what workers really wanted. This was a mandate for change, not a fluke. The numbers proved it, and the message was impossible to ignore. To understand why millennials led the Great Resignation, we have to look back at the world we inherited and the challenges we faced growing up. Our story is shaped by economic upheaval, shifting expectations, and a relentless drive to survive. We graduated into the 2008 recession, burdened with debt and few job prospects. The promise that hard work would pay off seemed to vanish overnight, replaced by uncertainty and anxiety about the future. We took any job we could find, hustled side gigs just to make ends meet, and quickly learned that company loyalty was a one-way street. The idea of a stable career felt like a relic from another era. Anxiety and hustle culture became our norm, always working, always worried. Nights blurred into mornings as we checked emails in bed, our minds never truly at rest. We answered emails on vacation, took on extra work for no extra pay, and burned out before 35. The boundaries between work and life disappeared, leaving us exhausted and disconnected. Burnout isn't just tiredness, it's chronic exhaustion, cynicism, and feeling like nothing you do matters. It's waking up dreading the day ahead, feeling trapped in a cycle you can't escape. We tried to reach the same milestones as our parents, buying homes, starting families, but with more debt and fewer resources. The cost of living soared while wages stagnated, making those dreams feel out of reach. The math didn't add up, and the effort broke us. No matter how hard we worked, it never seemed to be enough to get ahead, or even just keep up. The Great Resignation wasn't a surprise. It was inevitable. After years of being pushed to our limits, something had to give. It was our collective breaking point after years of being stretched too thin, emotionally and physically. We realized we couldn't keep sacrificing our well-being for jobs that didn't value us. Quitting wasn't about rejecting work, but rejecting unsustainable conditions. It was about demanding respect, fair pay, and a life outside of work. It was self-preservation, reclaiming our time, energy, and mental health. We started to prioritize rest, boundaries, and our own happiness. We weren't just leaving jobs, we were escaping a system that took too much and gave too little. We chose to walk away, even when it was scary, because staying was no longer an option. The past taught us hard lessons, about resilience, about boundaries, and about the true cost of burnout. The Great Resignation was us finally acting on them, choosing ourselves over a broken system. We were ready for change, and for the first time, we believed we deserved it. The pandemic was a massive social experiment. Suddenly, the world stopped. For many, the commute vanished and office life was replaced by Zoom. Stripped of distractions, we saw our jobs for what they were, often unfulfilling. The crisis made us question, what really matters? Is this how we want to spend our lives? The pandemic exposed workplace inequalities and forced us to confront our mortality. Some companies responded with empathy, others demanded the impossible. Parents, especially mothers, were pushed to the brink. We saw which employers valued people, and which didn't. The clarity was a catalyst. The pandemic was the tipping point, accelerating trends already in motion. It gave us the reason and courage to make a change. We emerged from lockdowns changed with new priorities. The traditional all-consuming job was no longer the goal. The final straw had been pulled. For past generations, success meant a stable job, a house, and a steady climb up the corporate ladder. For millennials, that dream is out of reach, or simply not worth the cost. We're writing new rules. Success is about fulfillment, not just wealth. It's about time for hobbies, travel, and loved ones, autonomy over our lives. Titles matter less than happiness and purpose. We're trading the corner office for flexibility and meaning. Ambition isn't gone, it's just redirected. Minimalism and the FIRE movement show our values: less stuff, more freedom. Work should be a choice, not a necessity. These aren't fringe ideas, they're mainstream for a generation that's seen the downside of the old path. We're choosing freelance, small business, or lower-paying meaningful jobs. Each choice is a vote for a future where work supports life, not the other way around. We're done playing by old rules. We're building our own game. Millennials want more than a paycheck. We want work that matters. We spent years in bullshit jobs that felt pointless. Now, we seek roles with purpose and impact. We're drawn to companies with clear missions and real social responsibility. Many of us will take a pay cut to work for a company that aligns with our values. We want to see how our work fits into the bigger picture. Transparency, growth, and being valued matter more than perks. We want leaders who are mentors, not bosses, who connect our work to a larger vision. The old command and control management is dead. Trust, empathy, and shared purpose are the new standard. Companies that don't get this will keep losing millennial talent. We're searching for work that feeds our soul, not just our bank account. Meaning is non-negotiable. The pandemic shattered the myth that work only happens in an office from 9 to 5. When we went remote, productivity didn't collapse, it often improved. The office as we knew it is dead, but work isn't. Flexibility is now the top priority for millennials. Where and when we work matters more than ever. We want autonomy to work from home, a cafe, or anywhere. The rigid schedule is outdated. We want to structure work around life. This is about trust, measuring output, not hours at a desk. The future is hybrid blending collaboration with autonomy. Companies forcing a full return to the office are losing talent. The best organizations will embrace trust, flexibility, and choice. The physical office is no longer the center of work. Our commitment to great work, on our terms, is stronger than ever. The future of work is flexible. The old career ladder is gone. Millennials' paths look more like jungle gyms. We move sideways, pivot, and take breaks, crafting careers that fit our lives. Freelancing and entrepreneurship are on the rise. The gig economy is now on our terms. Technology lets us build personal brands and businesses from anywhere. Even in traditional jobs, we see ourselves as CEOs of our own careers. We're always learning, networking, and ready for the next opportunity. Loyalty is to our growth, not a company. Changing jobs isn't disloyal, it's strategic. Adaptability, resilience, and lifelong learning are essential. We're active architects of our careers, not passive participants. The Great Resignation showed our confidence to leave what no longer serves us. The future of work is self-directed. The Great Resignation was a demand for a more human approach to work. Millennials' push for flexibility, purpose, and mental health is the blueprint for everyone's future. Companies must adapt. Old ways are gone for good. Flexibility will be non-negotiable. Hybrid and results-oriented cultures will win. Mental health will be a core business strategy, not a perk. Supporting employees as whole people will be essential. Purpose will define the best workplaces. People want to matter. Companies must have authentic missions and real commitments to people and planet. The Great Resignation was a wake-up call. We have the power to demand better. The future of work isn't happening to us, we're creating it. It's flexible, purposeful, and above all human. And it's just beginning.